You know, sometimes the best way to really get a feel for history, it's not about the big battles or the famous kings and queens. It's about listening to one person's story. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to open a window to a world that's long gone and listen to one man tell his life story in his own words.
Wow, just like that, we're there, aren't we? These are the actual words of our storyteller, spoken all the way back in 1867. You can almost feel the warmth of the fire, hear it crackling. This isn't some dusty, old document. No, this is a story being told to us right from the fireside.
So who is this guy inviting us to pull up a chair? Well, let's meet him. This is John Rich. He's a 76-year-old weaver from a little village in Wiltshire, England. And get this, he was born in 1790. His life saw so much change, just an unbelievable amount, and now he's ready to tell us all about it.
And just to put his life into perspective, look at this timeline. He marries his wife Rebecca in 1815. I mean, that's the same year as the Battle of Waterloo. He goes through bearing a child. He watches his other kids sail off to America, a whole new world, and he loses his wife after they'd been together for almost 60 years. His own life story is basically a reflection of the entire 19th century, all seen through the eyes of one regular guy.
Okay, so let's talk about the real anchor of John's long life. That was his partnership with his wife, Rebecca. They were together for almost 60 years. So where did it all begin?
So they get married on Valentine's Day in 1815. And there's this one little detail that tells you so much. See, when they signed the official register, they didn't write their names. They both just made their marks. That means neither John nor Rebecca knew how to write. And that was totally normal for working folks back then. Their bond, their whole life together, it wasn't built on letters or books. It was built on something totally different.
And John tells us exactly what that something else was. He talks about how his wife had a more romantic version of their wedding day story, and he just let her tell it her way. But then he gets right to the point. He says they were honest and hardworking, and that counted for more than letters. Man, in just one sentence, he basically sums up the values that their whole world was built on.
And from that strong partnership came a family, a big family. And their lives were a mix of incredible joy, deep sorrow, and all of it was tied to the loom that put food on their table.
11. That's how many kids John and Rebecca had. 11. Now, back then, before modern medicine and all that, big families were pretty common. But it also meant you were going to face some incredible hardships.
And yeah, here's the heartbreaking reality that came with a number that big. John talks about losing 2 of their little ones when they were young. He remembers his first son named John and how his wife wept a fortnight for him. A fortnight, that's 2 weeks. That one little detail it turns a number into this deeply personal tragedy. And that kind of loss, it was just a constant looming shadow for families in the 19th century.
So while all this very personal family stuff is happening, the joys, the sorrows, there are these huge forces changing the entire world right outside their front door. We're talking about the loom, the factory, and even the sea. Okay, so this right here, this is the central conflict of John's entire working life. On one side, you've got the hand loom. That's John's world. You're a skilled craftsman, an artisan, working from your own cottage. But on the other side, you've got the power loom. This is the Industrial Revolution crashing in. Work moves into massive factories. Skilled artisans become simple machine operators. And wages? They start shrinking. John was literally watching his entire way of life just disappear.
So what do you do? What do you do when the world you knew, the way you made a living, can't support your family anymore? For a lot of John's kids, the answer was to look for a better life thousands of miles away, across the ocean.
And just like that, his family, which had always been in this one little English village, just scattered all the way across the Atlantic. You've got Anne heading to Illinois, and Hannah, William, and Samuel all going to Connecticut. Can you imagine that, saying goodbye at the docks, knowing deep down you'll probably never, ever see them again? That was the real personal price of all this big-picture economic change.
So let's go back to where we started. It's 1867. John's sitting by his fire. His wife is gone. His kids are scattered all over the world. All he has left are his memories, and one last, powerful thought to share.
Rebecca, his partner for nearly 60 years, had died about 5 years before he told this story. Their whole life together, everything they built, it was all right there in that one little spot in Wiltshire. You can almost feel the quietness in his voice, the feeling of a very, very long chapter coming to a close.
And this is his final message. It's for his grandchildren, sure, but it feels like it's for us, too.
He's telling them, hey, even though you're in a new country, a new world, don't you ever forget where you came from. Their identity is rooted right here, in this town, in this trade, in this history. The cloth and the loom, that wasn't just a job. As he puts it, that is your blood, every drop of it. Just powerful stuff.
You know, the only reason we know any of this is because John Rich took the time to sit down and tell his story. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? In our own crazy, fast-changing world, what parts of our own stories will be the ones worth telling? You know, when we're the ones sitting by the fire,